Hey guys, Metal360 Reviews here, back with another review. But before we get into today's review, I want to give a quick shout out to one of my friends who has recently decided to restart his YouTube channel called Metal Morning Thoughts. He currently only has one video up as of recent, which is a quick studio tour, but he is slowly working his way through making more videos, and I will link his channel in the description, as well as putting it as a featured channel on my page. So, into today's video, keeping with the Slipknot theme, we are going to be looking at Volume 3, the Subliminal Verses, as I said in the previous video, and we'll just jump right on into it. So, fun fact about one of my versions of Volume 3 is I got it from a second-hand shop called CEX, and for those of you American and perhaps don't know it, it's along the lines of any sort of typical store you get there. It sells DVDs, CDs, and games and whatnot. But this is actually a first price case, as you can see from the sticker. But I opened it up and they gave me an Iowa disc, and I didn't realize until days later that it was that was the case. But you might be wondering why you saw two different artworks. This is actually the original artwork, but I purposely have two, as I will show now, so I can display both versions. Now, something to note is, I know that my videos are flipped in reverse, so I'll read it to you. On this one it says the new CD featuring Duality, a limited edition version including links and exclusive music, video downloads and access to the bands and more. And then it says go to roadrunner.com for more information. However, that is probably not there anymore, considering this was released in 2004. And then this one, this is a repress version which I got for my 13th birthday. It says the new CD, Volume 3, the Subliminal Verses, featuring Duality, Vermilion, and Porcelain Maggots. So to actually show you the proper copy, there we are. And as you can see, that'll work from here, and vice versa is on the inside. So this is the actual disc for it. I really like the design they went for with this disc. Very simplistic, but yeah, it's obviously got the very, Slipknot looking thing, but then it's got, I'm not quite sure what this is meant to be. To me it looks like a clock, but still. And then on the inside, the logo once again with a sticking with the theme of a decomposing animal that's just been color inverted. Very Slipknot, obviously. And then the track listing for this is Prelude 3.0, The Blister Exists, 3-0, Duality, Opium of the People, Circle, Welcome, Vermilion, Pulse of the Maggot, Before I Forget, Vermilion Part 2, The Nameless, The Virus of Life, and Danger Keep Away. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is actually a very interesting one. It is recorded in the Houdini Mansion, and Slipknot until this day claimed that this album was touched by something or other. I personally think it is, because they said there's an unintentional glitch at the end of Before I Forget, and you can actually hear that, because the track starts repeating over and over again, but it starts repeating Vermilion. So now to get into the lyric book itself. Very nice photo of Slipknot. This is when Slipknot started to become more polished in terms of their look. As you can see, this time around the masks are just made for them instead of masks they had found. So there we have Joey. One of my favourite Joey looks. I don't know why, it is very simplistic and I very much like it. Paul, this is when he started to more really change away from the pig look. And Sid's coolest master date in my opinion with the skull. Chris and Craig. And some pictures that they took around the Houdini Mansion. Very nice photos. And then a distorted photo of the band wearing their death masks. I very much liked what they did with the death masks. I think they are some of the coolest things ever, and I really liked how they wore them during this era when they performed Vermilion on stage. Some more photos. Then Mick and Jim. And then ending it with Clown and Corey. There we are. Now, overall, there's no point in me showing the lyric book for both of them, because it is literally just the ones in reverse. So that's why I decided to show this one, which is the correct way around, instead of the other one. But overall, there wasn't any actual tracking differences with these two. I thought it was just simply worth showing the two, and pointing out the different stickers in case people were like, okay, well, why are they different? And moving on to something else. Here is the Duality EP. Very simplistic, you know, the windows, I'm assuming, of the Houdini mansion, and then just Duality. Show the inside, picture of the band, and the track listing for this is really short, as it was just a promotional EP they did for it. It's the single version of Duality, Don't Get Close, and a live version of Disaster Pieces, which was recorded around this era. And then if you play this in the DVD player, it also has the music video for Duality. So, very nice. I like the disc as well. It's very similar to what they did for the actual album release, just in black instead. And then on the back, there's nothing. Now to move on to the deluxe version, this has, once again, has a different sticker. It just says Vol.III, the Subliminal Verses, special limited edition including bonus CD, featuring 8 rare and previously unreleased tracks. So obviously, as you can tell, this came out after these. Now, there are a few different versions of this, down to one has a slipcase, which I'm currently working on to acquire, or one of my friends is father for me, and then the parent advisory sticker, and then, as it was pointed out by one of my friends, a manual. There are various different versions of the deluxe discs. There's one I know which is red, and then there is one which is quite rare, which is blue, and I believe that's, I'm not quite sure where that comes from actually. So the lyric book for this one is, the lyric book for the deluxe edition is chunky. Unfortunately, mine has a crease in it. I don't actually know how. It's along the same lines basically with pictures of the band, so I won't go through it properly. But it's worth noting that it's a lot thicker material. There's no like additional lyrics for it or anything, which is a shame. But overall, this one is a lot more sturdy, as you can probably tell. So then, to show the discs off properly, I'll do that now. As you can see, unlike the other ones, they are completely two different colors. This is obviously very similar to the Duality one. And then, you know, you compare the two, and it's like, oh, that's quite a shock actually, because as you can see, they took the idea, but they split the two down the middle. Now, the track listing on the deluxe edition for the second disc is Don't Get Close, Scream, Vermilion, Terry Date Mix, Danger, Keep Away, the full length version, The Blister Exists Live, 3-0 Live, Disaster Piece Live, and then People Equal Shit Live. And it's got some more writing by here, and that says disc 2, track 1. It's basically just a bit of production thing, and then it's saying how the track 7, which is Disaster Pieces, is actually taken from the Disaster Pieces DVD, and then People Equal Shit is taken from the Alistair Arena in 2001. So music released from the previous cycle. Now, overall, this is the last thing I have for my Vol.III era. I'm missing quite a few of the singles, or the last two things rather, sorry. We move on to 9.0 Live, which was a live DVD they did. Well, I can't say a DVD, sorry, more of a CD release. It's a very long one. It's actually split across two CDs, and it's 24 tracks long. Overall, this isn't the best thing because Corey's voice had really started. You could hear Corey's voice had really started to degrade live during this era, and it's a real shame because on the actual album itself, it sounds amazing. There's quite a lot to read there, but I'm not going to read it because I'd be here all day. Once again, some very nice pictures of the band. Obviously, some taken throughout the various live performances the band have actually done up to this point. There's something to note here as well is, this is personally me, but one of my favourite masters that Corey ever had was this one. I don't know what it is, I just very much like the look of it. And then Mr. Fane. Yeah, there's another thing. Sid had two masks during this era, which I found very interesting, along the same lines, but this is definitely the era, I think, where Slipknot started to evolve properly because they started getting more backing behind them. Obviously, as I said, that during this era, the masks are actually made for them, not just something they had found and stayed with. Let's show off the discs. Very simplistic, it's basically just the artwork on the discs with a nice photo of the band. As I said, this is a very long one, so I'll go through the track listing quickly. The first disc has The Blister Exists, Sick, Disaster Piece, Before I Forget, Left Behind, Liberate, Vermilion, Pulse of the Magus, Purity, Eyeless, a drum solo, and then ER. And then disc 2 is 3-0, The Nameless, Skin Ticket, Everything Ends, The Heretic Anthem, Iowa, Duality, Spit It Out, People Equal Shit, Get This, Wait and Bleed, and then Surfacing. Then to show off the back. It's very simplistic, but I very much love it. Then moving on to one of the weird things that was released during this era is my copy of Liminal, which is actually a bit damaged because it's not an original. It's not originally mine. So I'll start off by showing this off. Just very weird sort of booklet showing off various photos of the era. But overall, I don't enjoy this too much. It was one of Clown's very weird arty projects. And as I said, obviously you can tell mine is not an original because one of the discs just fell out, but I think it goes to show that it was definitely loved and it's been worn down very slowly. Now overall, the discs, I'll show them off properly now, but you know, they are very much just sticking with how the other one, you know, with how the other releases looked. Show the back, the artwork, and but here, overall, this is said to be a movie, raw, uncut, and then censored. Slipknot has never seen before, even though realistically we had seen similar stuff to this before. An inside and outside look at 2 years of the chaos that is Slipknot. Interviews with all 9 members. It's got the music videos for Duality, Vermilion 1 and Part 2, Before I Forget, and The Nameless Live. And it's got some bonus live footage of Sick, The Blister Exists, Eyeless, Duality, Vermilion, The Heretic Anthem, Pulse of the Maggots, Before I Forget, and People Equal Shit. Now, this was done by Clown, and overall you can tell because it's very much along the lines of Clown's very weird art style, shall we say, when he does stuff like this. Very much like sort of what he did for Pollution with the We Are Not Your Kind era, but I'll talk about that probably during the We Are Not Your Kind era video. But thank you guys for watching once again. Another shout out goes to my friend Ads with his Metal Morning Thoughts. He's recently restarted it, and I'm going to be checking his channel link in the description, as well as now featuring it on my channel alongside ZD Caps and Fortman Play Stuff. And if you haven't subscribed to them, go subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you all in the next video. Also guys, I just wanted to throw you this in after the end, as I thought of it actually after I actually finished recording the video. There was a 10th anniversary edition of this, but I haven't really been able to find anything about it. I don't personally have it because it was released on vinyl. I think it was a clear one, but overall I don't have it, so I didn't really mention it because I don't think the track listing was very different. Unlike the 10-year anniversary, which included a DVD, and obviously, you know, for both Iowa and the self-titled, they didn't really do much to celebrate this album. But thank you guys for watching, see you in the next video.